For this video, we're going to be looking at conditional functions. What this means is we are going to be looking at functions that were in rows of data that meet a certain criteria. So what this means is, if we step into our page, using the table below, answer the following questions by leveraging conditional functions. So what this means is, how are we going to work information out? For example, what was the total score for golden sunrise across all events? So generally, we could go our sum function and add in 37 plus 28 and moving further down the list if our list was longer. But that can be quite tedious and time consuming. So our conditional functions are saying only sum, for example, we go sum if, right? Only add these if they meet the following criteria. So how do we go about doing this? So over here we're going to be going equals to. We're going to be choosing sum if. It says add the cells specified by given condition or criteria. I press my tab key. So our range, we're going to be selecting the range for the different names that we want. So when we talk about the range, we are looking for the area of where our condition needs or our criteria needs to be found. I'm going to put my semicolon. For you, it might be a comma. For the criteria part, we're going to be asking for golden rise. So we're going to open our quotation marks. We're going to type in golden rise, and we're going to close our quotation. So now that we've typed in the criteria, we're going to move to the next step. So it's comma or semicolon. Now the sum range is where the area is that's going to be summed. So it'll be our information here. So I select the information, I close my brackets, my parentheses, and I'm going to press my enter key. Gives me an answer of 65. Well, is that correct? So let's have a look. Golden rise is there at 37. Golden rise is here at 28. Down here, average, count, min, max, sum, 65. There we go. That is correct. So now, what was the average score for slow motion across all events? So if we are only going to be averaging for slow motion, we'll be using an if statement again. So we're going to go equals average, our average if, finds the average for cells specified by a given condition or criteria. Press my tab key. So again, our range is we are going to be looking for a specified word. Alright, our semicolon or comma. Now criteria. In the sum if part, we opened a quotation mark and we typed in golden rise. But what you can do is you can also direct it to a block that has the same name, or the cell that has the same name. So here we go. A17 has the word slow motion. So I'm going to select slow motion, my comma or my semicolon, and then I'm going to select the area that has all the numerical values in. I'm going to close my parentheses. I'm going to hit enter. Gives me an answer of 22,3. Let's have a look. So we got 19, we got 22, and we got 26. Down here, average 22,333 recurring. There we go. Perfect, we understand that. So now the last one we're going to be looking at, how many events did Moonbeam participate in? So we're going to go to equals. So we want to count how many times Moonbeam appears in our competitor list. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using a count statement, but we're going to use the count if. So it counts the number of cells within a range that meet the given condition. So I move my space over. Our range is the range of the names. And you can either go type in Moonbeam in your quotations, or you can select A18 where the name is. Right, we close our brackets and we go our enter key. So Moonbeam appears twice in our list. So there's one, and there it is again, twice. So that is correct. There's only 2 counts of it. When it comes to the count if statement, this block over here, so note, COUNTIF can handle strings, blanks, and numbers. Also, it's not case sensitive, so capital B and small b are treated the same. So what we can do now is we want to count the number of B's. So we're going to go equals count if. We're going to select our range, semicolon. We can either select the block and close our parentheses, alright, or we can come up here and in inverted commas we can type in B, still gives us the answer of 3. The next one is going to be a bit of a fun and tricky one. We want to count the number of blank options, so we can see here there's only one blank option. So to do this, we go about doing our count if statement again. Count if. We're going to select our range, semicolon, alright. And now one of the things is, whenever we specified a specific word, and when we're typing it in, we have used the quotation marks. So we're going to go quotation mark. We can either do a space quotation to say give it a blank, or we can go quotation, quotation, close it. And then we can close our parentheses. So that is saying count how many blocks have the following information. Are they blank? Are they... It counts, basically it's saying count if there's nothing inside it, which gives us an answer of 1, which is correct. And then the last one is count if our range, and it's asking for the numeracy value of 1. There we go, it comes up to 2 answers, or 2 counts, and I got a count of 2. This next section is sales reports with conditional function. So we want to build a sales report that shows the value of the number of vehicles sold, total sales, and average sales price by types of vehicles. Sales data is contained in the information on the right for our daily car sales report. Alright, so what we're going to be looking for now is a case of we want to create the number of vehicles sold, how many coupes were sold. So what we are going to be doing is we are going to be going equals count if we're going to be selecting that option. Our criteria, remember, we can either type out coupe, or we can just select the option, close our parentheses, and it gives us an option of 2. And then we can do the same for sedan. So just to make life easier, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this an absolute reference. I'm going to drag and drop my options down here by autofilling. Okay, so we want the option of sedan, which is in block A34, sorry, R34, so I'm going to change that to 4. Option number is 2. SUV 1, and then truck. There we go. Alright, total sales. So how many coupes were sold? So equals sum if. Alright, we're going to select the coupe option. Again, I'm just going to put an absolute reference on it because I make use a lot of our auto completion option. We're looking for coupe. Okay, and then the sum range is there. It's our numeracy value, and we close our bracket. So to keep that in mind again, our range is here that we want to look for. Then we're choosing our criteria, which is coupe, and then our sales or sum range. So I'm just changing that to an absolute reference as well. There you go. And to South African rands. So I'm just going to do the same thing. Autocomplete. I want to change R37 to sedan. I want to change R38 to SUV. And then the last one of truck. There we go. And now we want to find our average sales price. So again, we're going to use the average if formula. We're going to select our car range. We want the option of coupe. I've just decided to type it out for this formula. And then our average range, which is over here. And again, I'm just going to apply absolute reference to it. And then close our parentheses. So we're going to change coupe to sedan. Next one, from coupe to SUV. And then coupe to truck. Okay, so that is how we do that. Now we want to work out the total number of vehicles sold. So this is our basic sum formula. Grand total of 6 vehicles were sold. Alright. And I'm just going to do an auto completion here. Let's just apply. There we go. So that is how you use conditional functions under a sales report. The last exercise we're going to be doing under conditional functions is combining conditional functions. So we're going to look at creating or getting creative in this. So for you in this project, I've created this drop down for Aloha and Devon. So what we want to do is we want to work out the completed hours over here. Right? We want to work out the total hours over here. So we want to be able to add up the information. So if I choose the option of Aloha, right, I want to be able to work out the completed hours for Aloha in all their projects, how many hours were required or estimated total value or total duration required for the projects, and then compare it to the percentage completed. So this is going to get a little bit fun, right? So what we're going to be doing is, to work this out, we are going to be using our SUMIF formula. So we want to now select our range, because we're going to be looking for Devon or Aloha, our semicolon. And because our criteria, we can't really use the word Aloha or Devon because this is constantly going to be changing on a drop down. What we do is we just select our cell there, we put in our semicolon, and then our sum range, which is over here. We're going to close our brackets. That is now complete. Well, we can take it one step further. Okay, let's go total required equals SUMIF. We're going to select our area, our range, and we're going to be looking for the word Aloha. Select our block where the word Aloha is going to be appearing, and then we're going to be selecting our sum range. So we're looking under under our total estimated hours. We're going to close our bracket. Gives us an answer of 5 or 60. Okay, so what we're going to be doing now is we want to know the percentage complete. So to do this, we're going to go 5 divided by 60 gives us a 8% completion. So now that we've set this up, how does this work? So we're looking at combining conditional. So we're going to be building a reporting tool. If we switch over to Devon from our drop-down list, it automatically changes. So Devon is 35% ahead in their project, or the project Devon is 35% completed as opposed to Aloha at 8%. So that is our booklet for our conditional functions. The next video we're going to be looking at is our last video, which is our text and string functions.